Niners fans, it's about that time. 7 o'clock on a Thursday. Faithful Niner Empire. What's good? You know who it is. It's your boy, Jay in the Bay. And it's always a pleasure to be on with the best fans. Y'all know it. The best fans in the NFL. The faithful. The Niner Empire. It's a pleasure to be on with you guys today, you guys and gals. Hopefully everyone's having a good week so far, a good work week. We're here on a Thursday, one day before the weekend. And I got to say, this show is a little bit different tonight. It's been an incredible journey. I reached 1,000 subscribers today. I appreciate everyone who supports, the Jay in the Bay YouTube channel. Also, everyone who supports, the Facebook page, the IG, the Twitter. I started out doing YouTube a year ago, pretty much August 7th, I think, 2020. So it's been an incredible journey, only getting started. And I love interacting with all the fans of the NFL, especially the Niner Empire. There's no other fans that are better. And speaking of the fans, first, shout out to everyone watching on the Spotlight Sports Network YouTube channel. Also, everyone who saw this video on Jay in the Bay Facebook page, I appreciate you for coming through. And this show is nothing. It's nothing without the fans. And let's say what's up to the people. Y'all know it in them comments. So let's see who we got first. So we got Monica. What's good? Appreciate you coming through to the stream, Monica. She says 1K, baby. Let's get it, Jay. 2K is on the way. That's right. Yeah, that's the next goal. It's been an incredible journey. And who would have thought? I never would have thought in a year, been able to get 1,000 subscribers. It's crazy, amazing milestone. I appreciate all the support. Got to say, what's good? Payo time. He says, Jay in the 1K. I like that. He says, congratulations, brother. Stoked for this great accomplishment. Well earned. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you coming through, man. Celts Chronicles. What's good? Appreciate you joining the stream, Celts. Celts Chronicles, for those that don't know, he has a YouTube channel. He talks about the Niner Empire. Months, I would say weeks, months before the NFL draft, Celts Chronicles was all aboard that Trey Lance hype train. Choo, choo. And, he was speaking very highly of Trey Lance, and he was hoping the 49ers would draft Trey Lance, and that came to fruition. So I like to say that Celts Chronicles, because he's one of the first guys I heard that said, oh, the Niners should get Trey Lance, before a lot of people said. So I got to give you your props, Celts. Oh, yeah, but no, right now, Celts, I'm not taking callers right now, but that is something that, maybe will be in the works once the season starts. Maybe. I guess we'll see. I've never taken calls before, but that is something that if a lot of people want, maybe I can add that, to the show. Luke Luna, what's good? Appreciate you joining the stream, Luke. How's your Thursday going? OYG Sakona, what's good? Appreciate you joining the stream, man. I like that avatar you got. Appreciate you joining the stream. Hopefully your Wednesday is going well. Manuel Martinez, what's good? He says, what it do? I'm just here on a Thursday, ready to talk about, the latest 49er news, also the good and the bad from day 7 of 49ers training camp. But I'm definitely glad to be here, and I'm glad you're with me as well. Let's see, Niner Sickness, what's good? Appreciate you joining the stream, Niner Sickness. Hopefully your Thursday is going well. And then Luke Luna says, in regard to Niner Sickness, great show. Yep, I was listening to that right before I came on. Great show as usual, Niner Sickness. And he was taking callers. So that may be something that, Jay in the Bay will have to do. Niner Sickness says, thank you to Luke Luna. Celts Chronicles says, the IU show. Let's see. Payo Time says, Jay, can you share a memorable moment from this past year? If you're talking specifically about YouTube, there's definitely been a lot of memorable moments. I don't know if I could really narrow it down to one, but I would say The most important moment, I would say, is when I hit record on August 7th. The first time I recorded a video and posted it on YouTube, it was August 7th, 2020. I was nervous, as I get nervous before every show. I was nervous, but I'm glad I hit record, and I'm glad I posted it up on YouTube, because if someone would have said, hey, if you start posting videos on YouTube talking about the 49ers, you're going to get 1K in 1 year, I wouldn't have believed them. So it's been an incredible journey, incredible ride. I've been able to, everyone talks about the YouTube community, and I've been able to meet guys like Payo Time, who I never would have met if not for football and YouTube. Guys like Niner Sickness, 49ers First Takes, CG Ruthless, 49er Ultimate Report, Monica, everyone that's in the chat right now. We would not be interacting if it not would have been for, the 49ers and YouTube. So it's great, and I'm glad that we are building a family. But great question, Payo Time. Monica, what's good? She says, so deserving, Jay. I appreciate it. I appreciate your support and everyone else's support. And thanks for tuning in today. Fantasyland Football, what's good? Appreciate you joining the stream. He says, killing it, my G. Keep grinding. Absolutely. Definitely got to keep grinding. The season is upon us. I know there was a preseason game tonight. I didn't get a chance to watch, but preseason football will be this weekend, and I'm definitely looking forward to the Niners' first preseason game, which will be next week against the Chiefs, and I'm looking forward to seeing the young guys and what they can do, when the official games start. 49ers First Takes, what's good? Appreciate you joining the stream, First Takes. He says, congrats on 1K. Stopping in to say hi. About to hit the pillow. Early work shift, but wanted to say what's up. I appreciate you coming through, man. I appreciate it. I know about those early shifts where, you got to get your rest. You got to go to bed, basically before it gets dark, because you got to wake up early. But I appreciate you coming through to the stream, man, and I appreciate the congratulations. Let's see. Monica says on a Thursday. That's right. On a Thursday. Pale Time says, thanks for sharing. I'm going to look that first video up. No, don't do it, Pale Time. Don't do it. Because I can remember when I look at my videos month to month, obviously, the first 100 videos are going to be your worst. You have to get used to talking in front of a camera. That's I'm you got to get, you have to prepare for your show. You got to write down notes and things like that. I'm going to go look back at my first video too and just look to see what I was like. I'm sure everything was different, but that's funny. 49ers Ultimate Report says, congrats on 1KJ. This has always been a great channel, which I've been following. You always make everyone feel welcome. Hey, I appreciate the kind words, John J. 49ers Ultimate Report. Appreciate the kind words, man. Let's see. And you are on your way too, exactly, 49ers Ultimate Report. You're on your way to get 1K as well, man. Manuel Martinez, he says, congrats on the 1K, bro. We riding with you, Jay. I appreciate the support, man. I appreciate it. And of course, this channel is all about the faithful, the Niner Empire. But it's always good when other fan bases come into the chat. I always welcome other fans, especially fans in the NFC West. As Payo Time says, the dysfunctional NFC West family. They're fans like Payo Time and also Maro Tanaka. What's good? Appreciate you joining the stream, man. So Maro is a Arizona Cardinals fan. He's been on my show. He says, happy 1K, my man. Welcome to the Milestone Club. Exactly. Yeah, it's great to be in the club. And hey, I appreciate the congratulations, man. Thanks for tuning in. Let's see. Let's continue on with the comments. Monica says this Hall of Fame game is hot trash. Yeah, first game of the season, But yeah, I'll probably take a look at it because it's been a while since I actually seen some football, but maybe just check the highlights or something. I'm sure on YouTube, the NFL will have the highlights of the game. Roberto, what's good? Thanks for tuning in to the stream, Roberto. He says, congrats. Damian Lee, what's good? Appreciate you joining the stream, Damian Lee. He says, what's good, Jay? Go Steelers, beat the Cowgirls. Rams house. Whose house? Rams house. What's good? He says, what's up, Jay? Glad we have football back. Congrats on 1K. It doesn't come easy. I know it doesn't. It is a grind for sure, but it's all worth it for sure. And I'm glad I hit record last year, you know. Let's see. Luke, in response to Monica, he says, you ain't never lied, LOL, and didn't go into the shop today. Let's see. Got you, sucker. What's good? Appreciate you joining the stream. Got you, sucker. He says, congrats, 1K. Any prize giveaways for your subscribers? That's a great question. Yeah, I do plan on doing like a 1K celebration for the subscribers. I would say it's going to be within the next 7 days. I just have to, get things together. I got to see what I want to do, what day and all that good stuff. But yeah, there'll definitely be one. I will promise there will be one within the next 7 days for sure. There'll be a giveaway, and I'll leave a thumbnail, and I'll let everyone know in advance to tune in. It'll just be, hang out with Jay for the day. We'll talk some 49ers, maybe some NFL football, and then we'll have some giveaways along with that. So, yeah, it'll be coming within the next 7 days, and that's a great question. Thank you for asking that. Payo Time says, just looked up the first video. You were a natural. You're too kind, Payo. You're too kind. Oh, man. Let's see. Morrow. All right. Payo Time says, but yeah, I see the change in how you talk and screen. Yeah, I mean, when you first starting off, it's, like I said, the first 100 videos, they're going to be your worst, and then you learn from that. You learn, oh, what should I do about lighting? What should I have a mic? Should I use a computer or cell phone? I think the first one I did was in my car, I think. But yeah, you get more comfortable talking in front of a camera and things like that. And that all, just takes time. But yeah, everyone has that experience, I'm sure, their first time. Some have it easier than others, but I appreciate you checking out that video, Payo. Rams House says not 1K, 1.01K. Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate that. Luke Luna, he says, at Jay in the Bay, congrats on 1K. Your channel isn't a bunch of flush either. It's Niners football, and that's why you have good interaction with the people. Hey, I appreciate that. I feel like, to build the channel, you got to have a community. And my community consists of, NFL fans, and in particular 49er fans, a few Cardinals fans, a few Seahawks, and a few LA Rams fans. And I think it's cool. We can all relate to each other. And then, of course, when our teams play each other, those are always fun weeks to go back and forth with each other. And yeah, man, I appreciate that compliment. Payo Time says this game for sure makes me more excited for the September 12th game. LOL. Yep, that's going to be a Sunday night football prime time. Redder 4, what's good? He's a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Let's see what he feels about the game. Redder 4 says, I turned off the Steelers versus Cowboys because he got so boring. Yeah, watching the second and third stringers isn't always fun. With the Niners, I will definitely be tuned in because we have a lot of young guys on the roster that we, drafted, that we picked up in free agency. So I'll definitely be tuning in. Let's see. Luke says at Payo Time, why? So you can watch the Rams put forth some hot garbage too. LOL. That's funny. Yeah, Rams versus Bears. That's going to be a good game. I think the Rams are going to win, but I think it should be a competitive game for sure. Rams House says, ready to see Stafford. The hype is real. This game for sure is getting me excited to see my Rams. Now I dig it. Definitely looking forward to the Rams season. Definitely looking forward to when the Niners match up with the Rams. That's for sure. And the Rams, they've improved a lot, and it's going to be a interesting year for every team in the NFC West. Kels Chronicle says, man, I was talking hecka fast, shaking on my first one. Yeah, I mean, it happens to the best of us. I I still get nervous now. Like I tell that to people and they don't believe me, but yeah, I still get nervous before I go on live. I think it's just, you just have the butterflies. You want things to go well. But yeah, I think it's only natural to get a little nervous doing anything that you want to, do well in. So, but I'm sure as you go on, you continue to get better. Darsh TV, what's good? Appreciate you joining the stream. He says, congrats on 1K, man. I'm pretty sure it feels good. Yeah, man, it does. It feels really good. Like it feels like, the hard work is paying off. And now that the football season is going to start, I feel like, I've developed, a community, and I feel like a lot of people will be engaged with the content. So I'm definitely looking forward to the season. That's for sure. 49ers Ultimate Report says my first video is so bad. I was using a bad software. My first month I was using Word document. Your first video way better than mine. I mean, we to each his own. We all start off at wherever we start off, and we continue to grow and get better. So that's all that matters. John J. Niner sickness. What's good? He says, once again, Jay in the Bay, congrats on your milestone. 1K, baby. Keep up all the work. Well deserved. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate the kind words. Niner sickness. And of course, it was a pleasure being on your YouTube channel. Redder4 says, congrats on 1K, by the way. I appreciate that, Redder. Thanks for the congratulations. Sean Mack, what's good? He says, what's up, bud? I'm doing pretty good on a Thursday. Let's see. Sean Mack says you're not watching tonight's game. Now, I didn't get a chance to watch it if you're talking about the preseason game. But, yeah, I didn't get a chance to watch it. But I might watch it on YouTube. Usually YouTube on the NFL YouTube channel, they'll show like a 10-minute highlight package of all like the highlights from the game. I'll probably watch that. But we did have some news today from the 49ers. We had some latest news from the 49ers. Now, tight end Josh Peterson, we signed him in this offseason, probably about a few months ago. Tight end Josh Peterson was cut. Also, edge rusher Anthony Zettel, I believe we signed him maybe, less than a month ago. He decided to retire. I wish him well in retirement. Cornerback Tim Harris, he's on IR with a groin injury. A few days ago, Tim Harris, the corner, he had the groin injury, and it said he was only expected to miss a few weeks, but it seems like the groin injury got worse. The 49ers actually waived Tim Harris. They put him on waivers, and since he was hurt and no other team picked him up, the Tim Harris is technically back with the 49ers. So Tim Harris, it's basically the same situation that happened with Justin School. He got hurt. We cut him. No other team picked him up. So Justin School is technically on the 49ers, but of course he's not on the active roster. He's on IR. And this is the same situation with cornerback Tim Harris. He's on IR with a groin injury, and he's going to be out for several months, it seems. So that's the latest 49er news. Let's continue on with these comments. Looks like Monica is congratulating the 49er Ultimate Report on his Schumann interview. I didn't get a chance to check that out, but I'm definitely going to watch it on the replay. That's great that you were able to, interview a former football player. That's pretty cool. 49ers Ultimate Report says at payout time, I think week 1, the Rams game is a trap game. Okay. Let's see. Rams House says Trey Sermon is a hidden gem. It will be crazy seeing how he will do on the 49ers. Yeah, I mean, I got to be honest. I was surprised when, we drafted a running back that high. I know he was a 3rd-round pick, but I just felt like we had other needs that need to be addressed after the quarterback position. I thought definitely wide receiver. I was thinking cornerback, but clearly the 49ers saw value in drafting Trey Sermon, a productive running back in college. They decided to draft him in the 3rd round. John Lynch saw great value in that. And fortunately, we did draft him because Jeff Wilson Jr. is out until November, December. And I imagine Raheem Mostert and Trey Sermon will get the bulk of the carries. But also, I could see 4 to 5 running backs, including Juice Check, up on game day. They'll be on the active roster. And hopefully one of those running backs can participate in special teams. I can see Elijah Mitchell. He's one of the fastest players who was drafted out of college this year. I can see him being a punt return specialist, maybe kick return specialist, also being on punt return coverage, like on the defense, because he's fast. He can get past the gunner, and then he could tackle the ball carrier. So hopefully he's on the active 53-man roster because he could contribute in multiple ways. And I'm referring to Elijah Mitchell. I also like that we got Wayne Gallman, the running back, and I can see the bulk of the carries, Gallman, Sermon, and Raheem Mostert, because the Niners want to run the ball. We definitely want to run the ball, 30 plus times a game, control the time of possession, have Jimmy throw and Trey Lance throw off play action passing. I think that's where what Shanahan wants to do on the offensive side of the ball. Niner Sickness says he just subscribe to Kelts Chronicles YouTube channel. If you guys haven't heard, check out Kelts Chronicles YouTube channel. It talks about the Niner Empire. So check them out. Let's see. Let's continue on with the comments. Let's see. Got to catch up too. Let's see. Redder 4 says the reason he turned off the Steeler and Cowboy game because it was 9-3 at the end of the third quarter. Yeah, that doesn't sound too exciting. Let's see. Niner Sickness says, my first live, I went for a whole hour, but never started the stream. Wow. Well, that's something you'll never forget, right? You'll never forget that, you got to hit that go live button. So that's a pretty good one right there. Let's see. Luke Luna, in regards to Rams house, he says, I think Trey Sermon is a gimme. I think Elijah Mitchell is more of a diamond in the rough. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, Elijah Mitchell was a 7th round pick. I'm surprised that he lasted so long. But, we know now that running backs usually don't get drafted in the first round of the draft. I believe there was 2 running backs drafted in the first round, I believe. Najee Harris and maybe Travis Etienne at Jacksonville, maybe. So, yeah, not too many running backs get drafted in the first round, but I'm glad that Elijah Mitchell fell to us in the 7th round. I think that's great value for a running back. Sean Mack says Big Ben took a $5 million pay cut to stay with the Steelers. I respect that. Yeah, I respect that as well. Interesting about pay cuts. I'm kind of surprised that Lynch and the Niners did not ask Jimmy G to take a pay cut. That's kind of surprising to me. But, well, we don't know. I would want to ask John Lynch that, especially since, we drafted a quarterback for the future. But, that money's already spent, I guess. Jay, what's good? He says, what's up, Jay in the Bay? How's it going on a Thursday? It's going pretty well. We just talking about the Niner Empire. I'm having a blast conversing with you guys. And I appreciate you coming through to the stream today. Hopefully your week is going well. Niner Sickness says, still upset with the Seahawks for picking up DJ Reed after we cut him. They suck. Yeah, the Seahawks do that. They pick up our players. They got Kerry Hyder. They got Kello Witherspoon this offseason. And, they're known for doing that. I guess we got Richard Sherman, but, Seahawks, I guess because they see us 2 times a year. Obviously, their scouts see our talent. So if one of our players comes available, they're going to try to pick them up. It's like Jay agrees with Niner Sickness. Never should have cut DJ Reed. Let's see. Manuel Martinez says Trey Sermon will be our starting running back at some point this season. That's interesting. I think that could be possible, but I don't know if it really matters who starts in Shanahan's system. Do you think Trey Sermon will start because you think Raheem Mostert will get hurt, or you think that Trey Sermon will just outplay? You think Trey Sermon will outplay Raheem Mostert? Let me know in them comments. Let's see. Let's continue on with the comments. Let's see. Kelts Chronicles. When does Trey start, Jay? That's That's an excellent question. You know, I don't know. That's a great question. I know some people will say week one. Um, it's all up to Shanahan. Shanahan feels Trey gives the Niners the best chance to win week one or week 7, week 14, and I'm riding with Shanahan. But if I had my druthers, Celts Chronicles, I would say Jimmy starts week one, and Jimmy will continue to start unless he either gets hurt for multiple games or he isn't playing well. If he's turning over the ball multiple times and the team is losing, I think that's when you go to Trey. That's what I would do. Obviously, Trey Lance is exciting. He is having a hell of a camp. He is going up against the second string defense, so we do have to keep that in mind. But he's looking great. I want to see Trey Lance get some practice time against the first string defense. If Shanahan does that, let's say if Shanahan, I don't know, next week says, hey, let's split the first team reps 50-50, 50% with Jimmy G, 50% with Trey Lance, that would kind of surprise me, but I would want to see what Trey Lance does. And if he continues to play well, then I think the writing's on the wall for Jimmy, and Trey could start sooner than later. But I think week one, Jimmy G would be the starter unless he falls flat on his face. So it's like Tommy Huxley. What's good? Appreciate you joining the stream, man. Hopefully your thumb is doing better. He says I sliced my thumb today, man. Hopefully it is feeling better, man. Let's see. Jay says the Cowboys are losing. All right. Let's see. I got to catch up to these comments, and I appreciate everyone conversing in the chat. Let's see. Let's see. Corey Davis, what's good? What's good, KD? Appreciate you joining the stream. He says, hello, Jay in the Bay. Oh, man. Hopefully your Thursday is going well. Jackson Porter, what's good? He always comes in and says, go Hawks. Hey, support your team. It's all good. I'm looking forward to when the rivalry continues with the Niners and the Seahawks. Definitely looking forward to that. And those game days, or I should say the week of the game, will definitely be interesting, and I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for tuning in to the stream, JP. Let's see. Redder4 says, I did get to see some Haskins, though, and he wasn't bad when I saw him. Well, that's good. He's not bad, and hopefully for the Steelers, he will continue to progress. It's like Niner Sickness says, at Luke Luna, I agree about Mitchell. Luke says 100%. Let's see. Jay says Bryant Young could have been a Seahawk. Thank God George Seifert traded up for him. Raymond Martinez, what's good? Appreciate you joining the stream, Ray. He says, what up, Jay? Yeah, that's right, Jay. Only 2 running backs were taken in the first round this year. And, yeah, our boy Sermon is going to eat this year. Yeah, that's what I thought. And thank you for confirming that. Yeah, I think Trey Sermon, he's going to have a pretty good year. I think a lot of our running backs will have pretty good years, especially behind this offensive line, this revamped offensive line. Of course, we brought the big silver back. We brought him back. Trent Williams, Lincoln Tomlinson is coming back. Alex Mack, he's been playing well in camp, especially in day 7. We're definitely going to talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, Alex Mack is proving why, the Niners signed him, and we definitely needed that veteran leadership. We needed continuity at that center position. I think he'll definitely fit that role. And, Aaron Banks, the big man, Bay Area kid, drafted out of Notre Dame. A lot of people just assumed that he was just going to take over that right guard spot. But I think some people forgot that run skill, he's been with the 49ers a few years. He knows Shanahan's system. He's played all along the offensive line, and he's just not going to give up his starting right guard spot to a rookie. He's not going to do that. And Brunskill is taking all the reps on the first string right guard spot. And Aaron Banks, he's going to have to earn that job. That's for sure. And whoever ends up winning the position, I think the 49ers will be in good hands, whether that's Banks or Brunskill. And of course, we got Mike McGlinchey on the right side. I think Mike McGlinchey is going to be an anchor this year. This is a contract year for Mike McGlinchey. And I think he's going to play like he wants to get a lucrative contract in the offseason. I think he wants to get paid like a top 5 right tackle, in this league next year. And he came back into camp. He put on a little bit of weight. Hopefully, a little bit, 25 pounds, but hopefully that will help him be more stout in the pass blocking area. We're definitely going to need that. And I imagine a lot of eyes will be on him in passing situations to see how he holds up on the right side. Let's see, Travis Berg Jr. What's good? Appreciate you joining the stream, T. He says, congrats on 1K, champ. Yeah, man, it's been an incredible journey. And I appreciate everyone that was supporting and continues to support the Jay and the Bay channel, especially you, Travis. And I appreciate you coming through. Let's see. Kelt says, man, y'all putting good pressure. I was almost going to stop making videos after drafting Trey. Nah, man, you should continue making videos, man. And Kelt, when do you think Trey Lance should start? Do you think Trey Lance should start week 1, or do you think we should ride with Jimmy until Kyle Shanahan feels that Trey Lance is ready? Let me know in them comments. Let's see. Let's see. Let's continue. Sean Mack says that Jimmy G definitely starts. Yeah, that's my opinion. I think so. I mean, unless I really don't see since Jimmy G's already on the roster, do you really want a quarterback, makes $25 million sitting on the bench? And I know it's not really about the money because, I mean, the money's already spent. But I just feel like Jimmy G does have an edge over Trey at this point. But let's let Trey continue to earn it. He's playing well against a second string defense. He's definitely looking good. He's looking dynamic. I'm curious to see. I know you guys heard about that Trey Lance package. I'm curious to see that in the regular season if Jimmy G is the starter. How do you guys feel about that? Let me know in the comments section. How do you guys feel about Trey Lance, a special package for Trey Lance, where he would come in a few snaps a game, specifically in the red zone? He would definitely be very effective, very dynamic in the red zone. Definitely give defenses fits because defenses all week will train or will prepare for Jimmy G. And then when Trey Lance comes in, he presents a whole different set of problems. I could definitely see an advantage for the 49ers in the Trey Lance package. That's for sure. I'm looking forward to seeing that. Let's see. Sean Mack says they're paying him big money. Yep. There's no doubt. They are paying Jimmy G the big bucks. Let's see. Luke says, I'm old school. Where I'm from, that's called stepping on toes. Yeah, I was reading. I was reading your comment, Luke Luda, about that. Yeah. I guess we all have our ways about doing things, Luke. Let's see. Oh, Jay. So he's talking about the Iggy. But I forgot Iggy. I forgot his last name. I don't want to butcher it. Iguodala. He's talking about Iguodala. So yeah, Iguodala is a free agent. It'd be interesting to see if he goes to the Lakers or if he goes back to the Dubs. I know a few people that would love to see Iggy back on the Warriors, and we'll be interested to see what happens. Manuel Martinez. I think because of injury, Mostert is an awesome back, but just can't stay on the field like Jimmy. Sermon will flourish in our system. I agree. I definitely agree with that. Mostert does get nicked up. I think that's why earlier on in the offseason, there were rumors about, should the Niners move off Mostert? Should they trade him? But he's in the last year of his contract. I'd be shocked if he's back next year, even though he's a hell of a player when healthy. But, he's on the wrong side of 30. Running backs usually don't get better at the age of 30. And, who knows if he wants to sign a one-year deal. I'm sure he wants to ball out this year and sign a multi-contract extension. But usually players after 30 don't sign those long deals. Sean Mack, in regards to Jimmy G, if he falters, then that's a different story, but they won't pull him after one game. Yeah, if Jimmy starts week 1, I just don't see Shanahan pulling Jimmy if Jimmy is playing winning football. I just don't see it. It seems like that would be like a desperate move, right? Like, Shanahan is comfortable where he's at. He just signed a contract extension, I believe, this past, maybe in 2019, I believe. So to pull a guy who's playing well, and I just don't see Shanahan. If Jimmy's playing well, playing turnover-free football, the team is winning, I just don't see Shanahan pulling Jimmy. To me, it just doesn't make sense. It seems like a desperate move to put in it's almost like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, But if Jimmy is struggling, if Jimmy's turning over the ball and the team is losing, then yeah, I mean, you giving Shanahan no choice. And I think that's what it's going to come down to. Trey Lance is going to have to, force Kyle Shanahan to put him in as a starter, because there's a reason why Jimmy G is on the roster, faithful. There's a reason. Shanahan sees value in Jimmy. I know not a lot of fans want to hear that, but those are the facts. If Shanahan didn't see value in Jimmy, Jimmy wouldn't be on the team. I think it's as simple as that, especially since the money that's left on Jimmy G's contract is not guaranteed. He's got 2 years left on his deal, about $56 million left. The Niners can cut him tomorrow and only owe Jimmy $2 million. So it's not about the money. I think clearly Shanahan sees value in Jimmy, and Jimmy either is going to have to play terribly in the regular season, or Trey is just going to have to continue to ball out and force Kyle Shanahan's hand. But I think it's got to be both. Jimmy's got to play bad, terrible, fall on his face, and then Trey Lance is continuing to get better in practice and continuing to excel. I think that's how it happens. Or if Jimmy gets hurt. Jimmy gets hurt, then, obviously Trey would be in there. KD says, who do you think is going to be a third-string quarterback? That's a good question. Sudfeld or Rosen. I mean, I didn't really see that much of Sudfeld in Philadelphia. Rosen kind of flamed out in AZ. Some say he got a raw deal. He was traded to Miami. Rosen couldn't win the starting job in Miami over Fitzmagic. And then Rosen was training behind he signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, learning behind TB12. I don't know what to expect from Rosen. Can he throw the ball? Yeah, he can throw the ball. I mean, every quarterback in the NFL can throw the ball, but obviously it takes more than that. But if our third-string quarterback is taking a lot of snaps, we're in trouble. I don't think we'll be very successful if Rosen or Sudfeld are taking a lot of snaps in the regular season. Fernando, what's good? Appreciate you joining the stream, Fernando. He says, how's it going, Jay and the Bay? It's going good on a Thursday. Let's see. I wanted to talk about some players who are excelling at camp so far. And we got to start off with safety Tavon Wilson. So Tavon Wilson, free agent safety we signed in the offseason. Fortunately, we did sign him because Jaquiski Tart, I was surprised we brought him back on a one-year deal, but I'm glad we did. Unfortunately, Tart, though, has been on the COVID list, so obviously he's been unavailable to practice this entire training camp. Tavon Wilson, the safety, he's been taking all of the reps with the first-team defense because Tart is not available. And D'Amico Ryans was asked by a reporter, what player on defense stands out to you? What player are you kind of surprised about? And D'Amico Ryans, our defensive coordinator, said Tavon Wilson. So this is a direct quote from D'Amico Ryans on Tavon Wilson. He says, surprised, I don't know. I mean, the guy that sticks out to me on our defense right now is Tavon Wilson. We talked about him earlier, but Tavon has really been, surprising from the standpoint of just his leadership, his communication, his focus, and his consistent approach daily. And this is D'Amico Ryans, the defensive coordinator. He says, I think having Tavon has done a really good job. I mean, you can tell he's a true pro. He's a leader. I love his approach to every day. He attacks every day the right way, does a really awesome job of communicating out there with the guys, making sure guys are all on the same page. So he speaks nothing but praise of Tavon Wilson. That's definitely great to hear, because Jaquiski Tartt, let's be real, he's been nicked up a lot. I wouldn't say a lot, but he's definitely been nicked up at times in his career with the 49ers. And it's definitely good to have depth at that safety position. And I'm glad that Lynch did an excellent job in getting depth at that position in the secondary. Trey Lance, of course, do I have to say more? Trey Lance is excelling at camp. He's proving why he was the number 3 overall pick by the 49ers. He's very dynamic. He makes defenses look silly. The read option is going to be nasty when the Niners run that. And I'm excited to see Trey Lance continue to thrive in Shanahan's system. Brandon Ayuk, the Ayuk show. So he's been the best wide receiver so far in camp. He's been making a lot of plays. A writer who saw him basically said, well, if I had to pick a Pro Bowler on offense right now, it'd be Brandon Ayuk. So I think he's definitely showing he is the number 1 wide receiver for the 49ers. Debo has looked well when he was healthy, but he's got a tight growing. So he hasn't, obviously had as many snaps on the first team as Brandon Ayuk, but we're also expecting big things from Debo. And the last 2, Trent Sherfield and Mohamed Sanu. Mohamed Sanu was getting a lot of snaps at that 3rd wide receiver position on first-string offense in the first week of training camp. He's been looking good. He's been looking spry. Mohamed Sanu is in contention for that number 3 wide receiver spot. And surprisingly, Trent Sherfield. Trent Sherfield did not get a lot of snaps at the wide receiver position with the Arizona Cardinals. He was mostly used as a special teams player with the Cardinals. And it's good to see Trent Sherfield taking reps with the offense and making the most out of his opportunity. So a writer I heard say that Trent Sherfield should make the roster, that's great. And hopefully he can contribute on offense and special teams. I think that'd be great. Let's continue on with these comments. Looks like Sean Mack says Steelers about to be 16-3 over them Cowboys. All right. Jay says, in response to Niner sickness, please don't take Iggy from us. That's funny. Let's see. Looks like 49ers Ultimate Report. He agrees with Luke. All right. Let's see. Will Federico. What's good? Appreciate you joining the stream, Will. He says, how's the Niners quarterback week 1? It's going to be Jimmy G. It's Jimmy Garoppolo. That's my quarterback. Who do you think it is, Will? I mean, it could be Trey. I'll be surprised. I'm eager to see how Trey continues to practice. I want to see him practice more against the first team defense. I also want to see him practice in the preseason games as well, because I think he'll get a lot of snaps in preseason, Trey Lance. I'm very excited to see those snaps. But I think it's Jimmy G unless he falls flat on his face in the regular season games or if he gets hurt. Jay says the 49ers news. The 49ers have cut Tim Harris Jr. Yep, they cut him, but he was hurt. So he's basically placed on waivers. And what that means is another team has an opportunity to sign him. And if another team does not sign him, then he's automatically reverted back to the 49ers. And that's exactly what happened. No team signed Tim Harris Jr., the corner. So he's on IR with a growing injury. And right now, I don't think there's really a timetable for his return. So hopefully he gets well soon. Raymond Martinez Jr. How much do the 49ers play Jimmy in the preseason this year? A couple of series, a quarter, or not at all? That's a great question, Ray. Jimmy has not played a meaningful snap since, what was it? October of 2020, I believe. So it's been quite some time. So basically, if he plays a preseason game, it would have been 10 months since he last played a down in the NFL. I would say Jimmy should play. I think he should play a total of a quarter. So let's say the first game, maybe he plays 2 series. The second game, maybe he plays 3 series, and then the third game, maybe he plays 3 again or 4. I think Jimmy definitely needs to get in there, get his reps, and I think that'll definitely help him. But yeah, hopefully he plays at least 1 total quarter in preseason. Hopefully. Let's go back to these comments. Let's see. Raymond says, even though I want Trey to start, they will only play Trey if he dominates and shows that he's mentally prepared in his preseason playing time. If not, Jimmy starts. Let's say if Jimmy plays well, let's say in preseason games in total, let's say Jimmy throws, 16 passes. He completes 10 for like 80 yards, and he throws 1 touchdown. As long as he don't turn over the ball, as long as he doesn't fall flat on his face, I think Jimmy will start week 1. I just don't see Shanahan putting in Trey week 1. I know everyone wants to see the new toy. I know, I get it, but but I just don't see it. It just seems like a desperate move when you already have a quarterback there. Now, Shanahan has an interview or a presser conference, and he says Trey Lance gives us the best chance to win starting week 1, then I'm riding with Shanahan. I trust Shanahan, and that's part of the reason why I believe in Jimmy G, because Jimmy G's still on the roster when he doesn't have to be. So whatever Shanahan rides with, that's who I ride with. That's who I'm supporting. And I can't wait till we, see those preseason games, because those are going to be some important games, important snaps for young Trey. David Renteria, what's good? Appreciate you joining the stream, D. Hopefully your Thursday is going well. Kelch Chronicles, I believe he's talking about Trey Lance. He says he should start week 1 because he is better. The team says he's putting teammates in place because he is sharp on all 4 corners. He's ready, real talk. I predicted he will start week 3 a few months back, and I believe you. I just want to see. Do you think Trey would start if he doesn't take any snaps with the first team in practice? I don't think so. And he's taking like 1 snap with the first team offense. Let's see how Trey does against the first team defense. And I just want Trey. There's no for me. There's no rush for Trey Lance, because there's already a quarterback in place who we've seen play. He's not a top 10, no. But he ain't garbage. But he's played at his best. He's probably like an above average quarterback, Jimmy G. There's no need to rush Trey. But if Shanahan says, hey, Trey, you're ready, you give the Niners a better chance to win than Jimmy, then yeah, that's what we're riding with. I'd be surprised if Shanahan does that. I would just be surprised. Why is Shanahan in a hurry? I mean, it's not like Brian Hoyer is in front of Trey Lance. Like this, there's a difference between Brian Hoyer and Jimmy G. There's a huge difference. But yeah, I can't wait to see it come to fruition. I can't wait to see what Shanahan does, because I would just be surprised. I'd be surprised if Jimmy G, especially after him being on the team for this long, that he loses the starting position week 1. Now, if it was like week 7, week 8, then Trey gets it, that's part of the game. We're all professionals, or they're all professionals. But I can't wait. I can't wait until we start playing those preseason games. Let's see who else we got. Let's see. Luke says, I just don't want the Lakers to win. I'm a Jazz fan, but as far as I'm concerned, it's everyone against the Lakers and Nets. Those are the 2 more popular teams. Corey Davis says, Jay in the Bay, are you watching the Hall of Fame game? No, not watching it. I'm on here talking with the subscribers, with the fans of the faithful, the Niner Empire. I'm talking with y'all, but I'll probably watch the highlights on YouTube probably later. Let's see. Monica says, I have to believe our first preseason game will blow this Hall of Fame game out of the water, or whatever the hell the saying is. I think we'll definitely be more interested in obviously the 49ers than whatever the Cowboys and Steelers got going on. Luke Luna says, me too. I think if Jimmy is winning games, it allows Kyle to give Lance time. If Jimmy is playing poor, he forces both Lance and Kyle to have to play that card. Exactly. I just don't. And another thing with Shanahan, there's no rush for him to put Trey in. Can you imagine if he puts Trey in and Trey struggles, you're going to go back to Jimmy G? I mean, I don't think you do that. I think you would fracture a locker room if you're going to say, okay, Jimmy's been the starter here for a few years. We're going to sit Jimmy and start Trey week one. And if Trey struggles, I think it's going to be pretty hard for the locker room to say, okay, now Jimmy, okay, you could be our starter now. I think it's much better if Jimmy starts. If he struggles, if he gets hurt, then you put Trey in. I think that would be a much better situation. But I agree with Luke. Lance is going to have to force Shanahan to start him. And I think the only way that happens is if Jimmy plays poorly. Because there's no rush. There's no rush to put Trey in on my end. I know a lot of fans want to see Trey come in, and I respect that. I respect their opinion, but, it's not necessary. Manuel Martinez says, do you think Hufanga cracks the starting lineup this year, or will he be a standout on special teams? I'd imagine he'd be a standout on special teams. If Jimmy Ward and Jaquiski Tartt stay healthy, I would imagine those two will start the bulk of the snaps at the safety positions. And then Tavon Wilson, who knows? Maybe D'Amico Ryans could use three safeties in this defense. Or I could see, Tavon Wilson maybe getting some snaps from Jaquiski Tartt if he gets nicked up. We also still have Tony Jefferson, who's there, and then also, Hufanga. But I think he'll just be on special teams to start off with. Maybe D'Amico Ryans could use Hufanga in the box as like a box safety, someone who could, be stout against the run, get after the quarterback, maybe. But I'd imagine he'd get. I'd imagine he'd be a standout on special teams to start the season, and then we'll see what happens as the season goes along. David Renteria says football is back finally. Let's see. I went down too far. Okay. Let's see. Luke says, I've been here. I've heard KC say the Niners and the Chiefs will be competitive, but I don't know how deep they are, and have them beat at the quarterback position. Our backup in Lance is light years above their next guy. The Chiefs, they still have weapons. They still got Tyreek. They still have Kelsey. They upgraded their offensive line. I believe they got Orlando Brown from the Ravens. I'm not sure what they did on defense. I know Frank Clark, I believe he got into some trouble off the field. I'm not sure if he's going to be available and for how many games this season. They still have Chris Jones. They still got Tyrann Mathieu. They still have some playmakers on both sides of the ball. So, yeah, the Chiefs will still be dangerous. That's for sure. John Moreland, what's good? Appreciate you joining the stream, John. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you joining in, man. He says, who's y'all receiving corp? So, and John is a Tennessee Titans fan. I appreciate you coming through. So John says, who's y'all receiving corp? So it starts off with the Ayuk show, Brandon Ayuk. Then we have, Deebo Samuel. And the third, fourth, and fifth are pretty much up for grabs. Of course, we have, you heard of him, the best tight end in the NFL, George Kittle. And then 3, 4, and 5 are kind of up for grabs. It's funny. On the ticker below, I think, Trent Sherfield, Mohamed Sanu, right now, they are, I guess you could say the top two receivers after Ayuk and Deebo. Jalen Hurd is still there. Jalen Hurd has been participating in team drills. He hasn't made an impact as far as catching the ball yet, but at least he's participating in team drills. Juwan Jennings, he's still on the COVID list. So we'll see what happens with him. He looked good in mini camp. He could be competing for that number 3 wide receiver spot. And I was going to say, who else? There's River Craycraft. There's Travis Benjamin. I'm not sure what we're going to get from those two receivers. And there's also Austin Watkins Jr., undrafted free agent. And we'll see what he does in camp, but he could also vie in. So that 3, 4, and 5 position wide receiver is up for grabs. Who knows? We might have 6 wide receivers on the active roster, but we're definitely going to get most of our production from Ayuk, Debo, and Kittle as far as the receiving. Let's see. Blue True, Magnificent Moreland in the house. That's right. Stunner Fillmore, what's good? Appreciate you coming through the stream, Stunner. He says, excellent take. Cheers. Thank you. Let's see. Celts Chronicles says, 2 sides of the coin. The faithful is in a beautiful position with Trey and Jimmy. We are stacked all the way around. Yes, we are in an excellent position. And that's more reason why I trust Shanahan. If he feels Jimmy is ready, if he feels Jimmy gives the team the best chance to win starting week 1, then we ride with Jimmy. Trey gets more opportunity to learn the system, you can study Jimmy. There's just no rush. There's no rush to put Trey in right now. I just don't see it, especially, because we are a team that can win now. I'm not saying that Trey can't put us in a position to win, or that Trey, if he's in the game, it's a downgrade from Jimmy. I'm not saying all that, but I just know I've seen what Jimmy can do, and that's the reason why he's still on the team. And I think Jimmy's going to have to fall on his face. Jimmy's going to have to fall on his face in order for Trey Lance to get starts in the NFL this season. That's what I think, but we'll see. But we are in a great position. John, what's good? Appreciate you joining the stream, John. Hopefully your Thursday is going well. He says, what's good? If Jimmy plays well all season and takes us to the playoffs, is Lance going to sit out all year, or do you see a change in quarterback mid-season despite Jimmy balling out? That's a great question, and I talked about that earlier. I just don't see it. If Jimmy's balling out, he's playing well. I just don't see Trey starting. I could see Trey Lance getting into multiple games this season in like a Trey Lance package, especially in the red zone. He'll be very dynamic in that area. And I can see Trey Lance, he could play a few series. I could see that, especially if it's a blowout. Trey Lance could get in the game, get some snaps in, some NFL snaps. But as I mentioned before, we're not a rebuilding franchise. We're not the Jets. We're not the Jags. I think Trey Lance is in the best position out of all the quarterbacks who've been drafted this year, because this team is ready to win now. Shanahan, we needed to update it. We needed to upgrade the quarterback room, and that's why we got Trey. That's why we got rid of, Beathard and Mullins, and we upgraded with Rosen and Sudfeld. And that was definitely a need this offseason, and I think Shanahan accomplished that. If Jimmy's having a good year, I don't see him getting benched. I just don't see it. Looks like Stunner Fillmore says Jimmy G is the starter. That's right. I agree. Let's see. So Stunner Fillmore and Jay are clearly Warriors fans. Good luck with the Warriors this year. Monica says, put that back up. Monica says, what happened with Tyreek Hill knee? I didn't hear about him getting hurt. Let's see. Stunner Fillmore says, enjoyed the broadcast. Have a blessed night tonight and every night. Catch you later, man. I appreciate you coming through to the stream, Stunner. Appreciate you coming through. Redder is a happy man. The good old Pittsburgh Steelers won. Luke says, it's funny you try and talk about true problems with some fans like corner, and they just continue talking about the quarterback position like we're in any kind of trouble there. Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, the quarterback position is not in trouble. It's not. We know what we have there in Jimmy, and then Trey Lance is he's studying, and I think he'll be ready when the time is right. But yeah, I mean, that is the most interesting topic because people just want to see Trey Lance, and I can't blame him. The 49ers haven't drafted a quarterback in the first round since Alex Smith. That was in 2005. That was a long time ago, and some people. A lot of fans are tired of Jimmy, and they want to see Trey, and I respect their opinion. Jay Mouse says, got to go. Jay in the Bay, great stream, and go Niners. I appreciate you coming through, Jay. Appreciate your continued support. Kels Chronicle says, how do our backups on the O-line look? That's a good question, because I think the starters are kind of set unless Aaron Banks can try to get into that starting lineup at right guard spot behind Brunskill. I think the offensive line is pretty much set. As far as the backups, I mean, we got who we got. So technically, Aaron Banks is working with the second team. I think we still have Sean Coleman. I'm trying to think of the other backup offensive linemen, but I've heard that at least in day 7 of training camp, the offensive linemen were doing really well in protecting the quarterbacks. And that's part of the reason why Trey Lance has been playing so well in that second team unit, is because of the second string offensive line playing pretty well against the second string defense. John says, yeah, I feel you. I already got my Lance jersey in black, and I'm ready for Trey Lance to take the helm. I feel you. I respect it. Luke says, I'm all for Trey coming in fourth quarters when we're ahead so he can play against the first team defenses against opposing teams. I do like that idea the most, Jay. Yeah, I think if we're ahead a few touchdowns, definitely put Trey in so he can get some snaps in actual NFL games. Storm Hockey, what's good? Appreciate you coming through to the stream. I appreciate if everyone leaves a thumbs up for the stream. Also subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Make sure you subscribe to Jay in the Bay YouTube channel. Kels Chronicle says, hopefully the starting O-line clicks together quickly. I mean, so basically there's 2 new starters, and that's what Alex Smack and actually no, there's only 1 new starter. That's just Alex Smack. So yeah, I think this offensive line should gel very quickly, and I think they'll be at an advantage because we're going to be running the ball a lot. Kels Chronicle says, if Alex Mack stays young. Yeah, I'm glad we definitely got Alex Mack. He's definitely been a he's consistent. He's consistent. He's a veteran. He knows Shanahan's system, and he's definitely someone we needed at that center position. I do want to go over some of the observations from day 7 of training camp. There's obviously some good and some bad things that happened at training camp. So these are let me get to the good observations real quick. So let's see, the good observations. Defensive end Eric Armstead. All right, this is good. Armstead, he's got, I wouldn't say he has big shoes to fill, but I would say expectations are really high for Eric Armstead, highest played defensive lineman on the team. I'm expecting production against the run, and hopefully he can get some sacks. So defensive end Eric Armstead, on day 7 of training camp, he stopped running back Trey Sermon for no gain on the second play of practice. Then he beat McGlinchey to sack Jimmy G on the third play. This writer says that Armstead has been the 49ers' best defensive lineman in camp, mostly because he's been the healthiest one. Interesting. So hopefully that continues in the regular season. Defensive tackle Kevin Givens, he says, broke into the backfield and stopped Sermon for a 3-yard loss on the 4th play of practice when the starters were facing the starters. Givens is a starting caliber player in the NFL and a good one. And, our defensive line has very good depth. And, we can go 6-7 deep on our defensive line. And I think that'll definitely help in stopping the run and getting after the quarterback, which in turn will help the secondary. Defensive tackle Maurice Hurst stopped running back Jermichael Hasty for a 3-yard loss, then stopped Trey Lance for a 3-yard loss on a zone read. Hurst already looks much better than the former 49ers first-round pick Solomon Thomas, who's now on them Las Vegas Raiders. Strong safety Tavon Wilson. We have been hearing about him. D'Amico Ryans have been speaking very highly of Tavon Wilson, and hopefully this keeps up. Maybe he could press Jaquiski Tart for playing time. Who knows? But on day 7 of the training camp, it says the writer says Tavon Wilson has started every practice at strong safety and played well. Today, he broke up a pass intended for George Kittle during one-on-one drills in the red zone, then nearly intercepted a pass from Jimmy G during 11-on-11s. If Jaquiski Tart never recovers from his turf toe injury, and that's a tough injury. I don't know if anyone's ever had it. I've never had a turf toe injury, but I hear that's an injury. It's like a nagging injury. It's something that's very hard to get over. I mean, you basically you can't put any pressure on your foot. It hurts, and that's something it's very hard to overcome. So unfortunately, we have Tavon Wilson to back up Jaquiski Tartt. But Wilson will replace Jaquiski Tartt in the starting lineup if he's not available to go. Tight end Ross Dwelly. Now, if you've been listening to Jay and the Bay for a while, you've heard me say I think we need to get better at the tight end position. I wish we would have went after maybe Zach Ertz, but I hear he's still with the Eagles. But tight end Ross Dwelly had an excellent day. It says Ross Dwelly made a safety fall on his face during one-on-ones and caught a 45-yard pass from Trey Lance during 11-on-11s. This writer says the 49ers defense can't stop Dwelly. No exaggeration. So take that with a grain of salt. Let's see. Let's continue on with the comments. Seahawks Eddie, what's good? Appreciate you joining the stream, Seahawks Eddie. Hopefully your Thursday is going well. Monica says, great stream. I appreciate you coming through, Monica. Luke Luna says, at Kelts, I agree. We tried to help with that problem with the draft pick. McKivitz, Banks, hope for them. Our starting O-line is good, but if there's any problems during the season, we will have a weakness. Yeah, Banks is taking his lumps so far. I heard McKivitz actually worked with the first team on day 7. Banks, he's a rookie. He's a rookie. He's going to have to take his lumps. And that's how you get better. You get better in practice and in training camp. Kels Chronicle said, I heard Kinlaw was pancaking Mac. Why he do the vet like that? Yeah, it was mutual. The first snap, I think Mac took down Kinlaw. The second snap, they had to be separated. They were getting ready to fight. And then the third snap, Kinlaw got an advantage over Mac. So this is good. Like a great man once said, iron sharpens iron. And I think it's good for Kinlaw to go up against a vet like Mac. It'll help him get better at his game and vice versa. Luke Luna says, I doubt that happens. Then that will affect Jimmy's game, and that's where Trey may have a chance to come in because he is more mobile to deal with. The O-line problems, Jimmy will play good with the starters. Okay, so I think you're referring to if Trey comes in a few series. I'm not sure what you mean, but if that's the case, Shanahan is working a special Trey Lance package, especially on the red zone. I think he could present a lot of problems to the defense. So I definitely would envision, even in close games, I could see Trey Lance coming in, and it also would give a different look for the defense, which could pay off. John says, I feel like tight end U benefited Dwelly a lot. Okay. Well, I guess we'll continue to see that. I'm excited to see, what Dwelly can offer to the team, and hopefully he's productive this year. Looks like Monica says, I agree. That makes sense, Luke. Seahawks Eddie says, I'm at work missing the Hall of Fame game. Well, yeah, I heard it's not much of a game, buddy. Yeah, it's not much of a game, and Monica agrees. You didn't miss much, honestly. Kelt says, our front 7 on D should be so dominant that it should help the cornerbacks. Yeah, I agree. I feel like a defensive line is a secondary's best friend. If the defensive line can get pressure on the quarterback, make them feel uncomfortable, make them get out of their spot. Most quarterbacks, don't throw good on the run. Most quarterbacks want to sit in a clean pocket. And when you take them off of that pocket, it hurries their throws. And when the defensive line can get pressure on the quarterback, in 3 to 4 seconds, the corners cover less, the linebackers covers less. It helps it makes everyone's job easier on defense. Luke says, if that happens, as in if there's problems with the O-line. Okay. Yeah. If there's problems with the O-line, Trey Lance would definitely be better in that situation because he's more mobile. And Luke says, then Trey has a chance to come in and be more mobile if Jimmy's game is affected by the O-line. That's very true. CG Ruthless, what's good? Appreciate you joining the stream, CG Ruthless Sports. He says, what's good, Jay and the Bay? Congratulations for the 1K. I appreciate that, man. Kels Chronicles says, Proverbs 27:17. Yee! Iron sharpens iron. That's right. I love that quote. So let's see. Continue on with the observations of day 7. Now, what do you guys think? What does the Niner Empire think about Tight end Jordan Matthews. He excelled at the wide receiver position with the Philadelphia Eagles. He really hasn't played significant snaps in the NFL game since 2018. But I believe tight end Jordan Matthews went to the tight end with Kittle and Kelsey. And tight end Jordan Matthews, he could be a good receiver at the tight end position. I don't know how good of a blocker he'll be, but I guess we'll see. But tight end Jordan Matthews caught a 10-yard touchdown pass in the red zone, then made a key block on a 10-yard touchdown run by Wayne Gallman. Matthews looks like a natural tight end. He played wide receiver until this year. Quarterback Nate Sudfeld. I think KD was asking about the third quarterback position, and this writer says that Nate Sudfeld completed both of his passes, a 15-yarder to Trent Sherfield during running a dig route, and another 15-yarder to Brandon Ayuk running the same route. Sudfeld looks like a quality backup. That's what the writer says. We will get into the bad observations from day 7 after I read these comments. CG Ruthless says, Trey Lance is spectacular so far. I mean, I would have to agree. He's looked incredible. He is doing this against a second-string defense. We do have to keep that in mind. But he's definitely putting his best foot forward. He's taking this position very seriously. Clearly, it shows that he wants to be the starter, and he's making a lot of good decisions. I don't think he could have done any better than he's doing right now. Trey, Celts Chronicles record prediction: who beats us? So I would say, I think we'll go 12-5. I think we will lose to the Titans. We'll lose to the Rams once, the Seahawks once, the Cardinals once, and I think we'll probably lose a game that we shouldn't, that we're probably better on paper. We could lose to Chicago. Those are the 5 games I think we'll probably lose. I think 12-5, that's the record I'm going with this year. CG Ruthless says 1 week at a time. Celts Chronicles says 20-0. Let's go. I love your optimism. I love it. Splash Out. What's good? Appreciate you joining the stream, Splash Out. He says congrats on 1K. I appreciate that, man. You're too kind. CG Ruthless says hopefully Matthews can be a red zone threat. Yeah, I hope so. If he can contribute at the tight end position, I mean, that would be great, because I wish we would have saw more of Jordan Reed and Kittle last year. I think they could have been a dynamic duo at that tight end position. And hopefully Jordan Matthews, can be a threat on the receiving end, on the offensive side of the ball. Seahawks Eddie, I'm very happy we get to watch some preseason games. I am too. I'm very excited for the preseason games. And I'm looking forward to them, especially with the plethora of talent we have as far as our rookies and draft picks and things like that. John, what position battle is the most competitive? Wide receiver, right guard, quarterback. Well, if you listen to Shanahan, we don't have a quarterback competition, John. There is no quarterback competition. That's what Shanahan said. So right guard, though, I think right guard is interesting. Brunskill is getting the bulk of the snaps at that right guard spot with the first string team. Aaron Banks, they say he's struggling a little bit, but he's a rookie. I mean, I think we were our expectations were too high if we just thought he would come in and start over Brunskill right off the back. I mean, Brunskill has played multiple positions on the offensive line. He knows Shanahan's system. He's been in it for a few years. And Brunskill, he's just not going to let anyone take his position, especially a rookie. So I think it's fine. If Brunskill turns out to be the better guard, then that's fine. Banks will sit behind him, and he'll continue to learn and get better. It's no problem with that. Wide receiver 3, yeah, that's definitely the most competitive. I think it's wide open. Jalen Hurd is competing. He's on, he's working on the 11 on 11, so that's a plus. He's continuing to ramp up, because when he started, he was just on individual drills. Now he's working with the 11 on 11 team. Juwan Jennings, he's still out with COVID, so he's kind of up in the air. We'll see when he comes back. Mohamed Sanu has looked good. Trent Sherfield has looked good. Austin Watkins, I heard, has been looking good. And I think those are probably the five. And then you still have Travis Benjamin. You still have River Craycraft. I don't think those two will probably win the third wide receiver position. Then we still have Simba Webster. We signed him over from the LA Rams. He played a lot of special teams with the Rams, but you never know. He can contribute on the offensive side of the ball as well. So, but I would say the most competitive for me is probably a wide receiver because we have so many wide receivers, and it's kind of wide open. I don't know who would be the favorite right now. I guess you could say Trent Sherfield or Mohamed Sanu, but that could change, day by day. And I think that's the most competitive position, the wide receiver position. Looks like Monica is excited for preseason games as well. CG Ruthless says, is Sherfield pushing for the third spot? Was thinking Sanu would be ahead. I don't know if they're even, but I know Sherfield is making some noise because I thought he was just a special teams guy coming from the Arizona Cardinals. But if he can, make the most out of his opportunity, I think he will probably be a better fit than Sanu, or maybe they could split time. Injuries happen, and I would imagine the Niners keep at least 6, maybe 7 wide receivers up on game day. At least 6, you would think. Luke Luna, the front 7 will help the cornerback not get hurt, getting to the quarterback early and forcing throws away, bad passes and sacks. This is looking why I think Mosley will look good this year. Yeah. And I think that's part of the reason why Richard Sherman looks so good, because we had a dominant pass rush in 2019. Sherman could just look at the quarterback, see where the ball is going, and attack the ball. So hopefully we have we're going to need a great pass rush. Let's see. CG Ruthless says 11 wins realistically. Got to keep it real. I respect that. Celts Chronicle says close to me. I said 13-4, and these are who the teams he thinks the Niners will lose to: the Colts, the Rams, the Cardinals, and the Eagles. Okay. I guess the Eagles you say because that's a game we shouldn't lose, but it's on the road. I think we'll beat the Colts and the Eagles, but 13-4. Hey, if we got 13-4, I don't care who we lose to. If we're 13-4. Luke Luna, I think Dwelly can be a red zone threat. I believe in Dwelly. Give it to him short of goal line. Let him drive it in. I mean, we just haven't seen it, so I'm in a wait and see with Ross Dwelly. But yeah, I'm waiting seeing with Dwelly. Whatever he does for me is a pleasant surprise. So let's see. Queen Bee says, congratulations, Jay, on that 1K. I gotta say, what's good to Queen Bee. She says it's going to take YouTube 1 week to put the community page to your channel. All right, I appreciate that. Monica looks like agrees with Luke. She's on that Ross Dwelly train. She says he has good hands. Let's see. Luke Luna says Jordan Matthews is number 3 in my book, and that's where he'll stay barring injury. Knock on wood. Okay. If he's the best man for the job, I'm down. Let's see. J.A. Aguayo 56. What's good? Appreciate you tuning in to the stream. Hopefully your Thursday is going well. Trent Sherfield. J.A. Aguayo says that Trent Sherfield looks good, but maybe Jordan Matthews can be used in 2 tight end sets. Good discussion, Jay in the Bay. Hit the like button, faithful. I like that. Yeah, appreciate you guys. Hit the like button. If you're enjoying the stream, make sure you subscribe to Jay in the Bay as well. I think that'll be interesting to see. So who's going to be that backup tight end to Kittle? Will it be Jordan Matthews? Will it be Ross Dwelly? I don't know. We'll see. Is Jordan Matthews better than Ross Dwelly? I don't know. I haven't seen him. I don't know. But we'll see in preseason. We'll all be able to see next Saturday night to get some good old KC Chiefs in Santa Clara. We'll be able to see next Saturday, who's going to step up in that number 2 tight end role. CG Ruthless says Brunskill is the Aaron Donald eraser. That's funny. Yeah, he did do pretty well against Aaron Donald. There's no denying that. Travis Berg Jr. says, who's your favorite secondary player right now? I would say, for me, Jason Verrett. Jason Verrett definitely has had, one of the worst times I've seen in a while with staying healthy. The guy earlier on in his career just cannot stay healthy with the San Diego Chargers. He's very talented. He's a Bay Area kid. He's from Fairfield. And yeah, I like Jason Verrett. And I think if he has another Pro Bowl year, the 49ers defense will be in great hands. And hopefully he can stay healthy, him and Mosley, for a majority of the season. Let's see. Celts Chronicle says, is Quest for Six cursed? Do you have an idea for a different battle cry? I don't have an idea for a different battle cry, but I think Quest for Six is kind of, honestly, it's kind of played. It's kind of played out. We've been saying that for a while. I like how CG say, we'll just take it week by week. I like that. Week by week. Let's see. Monica says she loves that attitude. J.A. Aguayo says, if our running game can dominate and win time of possession, that should open it up for our quarterback, whoever that is. I agree. Shanahan wants to run the ball 30-plus times a game, and I think that's why we have 3 to 4 running backs up on game day who can contribute in the running back room. And Jimmy G can work off play action, and you'll see it. George Kittle will be running across the middle wide open, and George Kittle will be eating. But I think that's how the Niners will attack teams with the running game behind our stout offensive line. Colonel Briggs, what's good? Appreciate you tuning in to the stream, Briggs. Hopefully your Thursday is going well. Let's see. Luke says we don't lose to the Colts without Wentz. I had that as a loss to or the Titans, one or the other. Without Wentz, I think the Titans now. Without Wentz, yeah, I'll be surprised. I think, honestly, even with the healthy Wentz and a healthy Quentin Nelson, I think we will beat the Colts. That game will be a week after our bye week. The 49ers players will be rested, refreshed, good to go. The 49ers coaching staff will have twice the amount of time to prepare for the Colts. The Colts got to fly to Santa Clara. It's going to be on a Sunday night football prime time. I mean, the whole world's going to be watching Faithful. And I think the Niners will come prepared. And I think it will be a close game. But I think the Niners will win that game against the Colts. And DeForest Buckner will be returning home. So that'll be nice to see. Let's see. Kelt says it could be the Super Six only because Trey says super a lot. Okay. I'm down with that as long as we win. Let's see. Jay says, what up? I'm back. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for coming back. CG Ruthless. All right. I like this quote. He says, Matthews can be exactly what we expect from Jordan Reed was supposed to be. All right. That's what I hope. That's what I'm hoping for. That's what I would like. The Ramelia Sports Report. What's good? Appreciate you joining the stream, Ramelia. Hopefully your Thursday is going well, man. Thanks for tuning in to the stream. Let's see. J.A. Aguayo says, I'm doing better now that I'm listening to the faithful, the Niner Empire. If you guys are enjoying the stream, I appreciate. Hit that thumbs up button. Also hit that subscribe button as well. 49ers Ultimate Report is giving us an update on the likes. He says 26 likes. The Ramelia Sports Report says, when was Brunswill? Maybe he'll finish that comment later. The Sports Blitz, what's good? Appreciate you tuning into the stream. I appreciate the kind words. He says, yo, congrats on 1K, bro. I appreciate you. Luke has a question for the Ramelia Sports Report, who's an LA Rams fan. He says, how do you feel about Stafford's thumb flaring up again? I think the dude plays good regardless. The dude's tough, and he did it last year and played well. Yeah, I think they'll be fine. I think what's more concerning is the run game. Because Matt Stafford definitely can air it out. But what about that run game? Tim, what's good? Appreciate you joining the stream, Tim. He says, in the regular season, how's the running game going to look? Who, how many carries, and the scheme? It's going to be that zone scheme that Shanahan loves to run, that his dad loves to run, where, there was a plethora of running backs who were successful, Landis Gary, Clinton Portis. It goes all the way back to Denver. The running game, it'll be about 30 plus carries a game, I would say. That'll help set up the play action pass. That will help win the time of possession. And then who will be the starter? I think it'll be between Mostert. I think he'll start. And I think Sermon will get in there and Gallman will get in there. I think Mostert, his touches will be limited throughout the season. I think if Mostert gets, less than 10 carries a game, I think that'll be sufficient. And then let Sermon and Gallman, run the ball and have more carries. I think that's how the running game will look this year. Let's see. The Vermilion Sports Report says, when was Brunskill the Aaron Donald eraser? Donald has 12.5 career sacks in 13 games versus Niners, most against any team in the NFC West. I believe there was a game last year where Aaron Donald probably had one of his worst games statistically, and that was against the 49ers. I would have to look up the exact – let's see. Let's look it up real quick. Let's look up Aaron Donald's stat line. Let's see. Let's see. Let's look up Aaron Donald's stats versus Niners. See what pops up. Let's see. Yeah, so there's an article. If you look it up, basically the game was on October 18th, 2020. It says the headline is the 49ers silence Aaron Donald and company. So that game was on October 18th, 2020. Let's see. I'm trying to look to see if they specifically talk about Aaron Donald. Let's see. Yeah, I think the week before that game, Aaron Donald had 4 sacks, 3 quarterback hits against the Washington football team, so he was riding high. But on October 18, 2020, the 49ers offense left Jimmy G untouched through the contest. They gave up no sacks against the Rams defensive line on that night and just 2 quarterback pressures. So, we as 49er fans, we love to say that, Brunskill, he's the Donald eraser. But I just think Shanahan did a good job with scheming, with scheming plays away from Donald. Jimmy G got the ball out quick. We know Aaron Donald, he's a Hall of Fame player. I just think we had his number that day. But, yeah, there's no doubt Donald's a Hall of Fame player. But 49ers fans, we love to say that Brunskill, is the Donald eraser. But I think Shanahan did a great job with scheme, and Jimmy G got the ball out well. I think that definitely helped Brunskill that day. Kels Chronicle says when Donald faces Brunskill, he shuts him down. Yeah, so I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't agree with that, but you're entitled to your opinion. Jay says, in regards to Vermilion Sports Report, we have had your number the last 2 years. Now, that is correct. We definitely have had the Rams number the last 2 years. Luke says, Jordan Reed was a stud, though, who couldn't stay healthy. Matthews, I don't think he's ever really been that dynamic. Yeah, well, he played the wide receiver position. He had some good years with the Eagles. Obviously, this is his first year playing at tight end position. He was at the tight end U with Kittle and Kelsey, but we'll see how he does at the tight end position. He could excel there. The Vermilion Sports Report says Stafford's thumb is fine. He was throwing the next day. So that's good news. That's good news for the Rams. J.A. Aguayo. If Matthews, Dwelly, and the Juice are used more, we don't have to worry as much about the third receiver. That's true. I think that's true. I think if we got more production from them, we wouldn't have to worry about third receiver, but I think it's good to have as many weapons as you can have on the offensive side of the ball. I'm intrigued to see who that third receiver is going to be, and I can't wait to see by the end of training camp. Let's see. Let's see. Monica says she is heading out. I appreciate you joining the stream, Monica. You have a good night. See you in the next stream. CG Ruthless says Aaron has had success against us, but You Rams fan forget the fact that Brunskill played good against him. I take it as a positive side, even though Donald is a beast. Yeah, I think Brunskill definitely had a good game against him. That's for sure. Kels Chronicles, if y'all want a good laughter on, check out McGlinchey on Ayuk's 2-yard touchdown versus Dallas last year. Let's see. CG says if you can limit him to no sacks in a game against one of the best, it's a great. No, I agree. The Remilia Sports Press saying someone erased Donald is like saying they stopped MJ. Now that's true. We like to we like to exaggerate just a little bit. Let's see. Exactly. Yeah, CG Ruthless says it's just hype. LOL. The Familiar Sports Report says Donald got a sack his last game versus 49ers last year, too. Let's see. CG Ruthless says, I personally want to see Banks versus Donald than Brunskill, but that's got to be earned between Brunskill and Banks for the right guard spot. Exactly. I think Banks will have plenty of opportunities in the future. I think Banks will be with the team for a long time. 49ers Ultimate Report says, Jay, I had a Colts podcaster, and he told me Wentz may only miss 2 or 3 games, and Nelson, the offensive version of Nick Bosa, may not miss any games, and they don't want Jimmy. Well, I guess we'll see. I appreciate his perspective, and I guess we'll see. I think we can still beat the Colts if Wentz and Nelson are healthy. So that's not even – I'm not even concerned about that. I think we can still beat them. It's going to be a close game, but I think we're better than them. And we'll see come Sunday night, week 7. Luke says, Dwelly has been looking great. And same with Juice catching balls 100%. I think we will see some of it sprinkled in for sure. I hope so. Monica says Niners favorite to win NFC West, 4th best odds to win the Super Bowl. Also, last few times we played Detroit, we won the Super Bowl. I'll leave on that note. Thanks for tuning in, Monica. I appreciate your contributions to the stream. Let's see. The Million Sports Report says Brunskill having a good game versus Donald means Jimmy threw the ball quick and ran a lot. Yeah. Definitely got to get the ball out quick. That's for sure. One last topic I wanted to go over was the bad observations from day 7 of training camp for your red and gold. So this observer mentioned some things about day 7 of training camp. And we're going to get into that right now. So the first one that's not so good is defensive tackle Javon Kinlaw. So Javon Kinlaw came into camp. He's been dealing with swelling in his knee. He's been participating in one-on-one drills, but not team drills yet. And on day 7, Javon Kinlaw removed himself from a pass rushing drill and spent 10 minutes squatting down and basically not participating. The writer says that Kinlaw didn't participate in 11-on-11s either. He just watched from the sideline. And if Kinlaw can't participate, he shouldn't participate. We shouldn't be forcing him. Maybe he just needs time, to heal from whatever is ailing him. But I haven't heard he has a specific injury, But Kinlaw is supposed to have a breakout year this year. Hopefully he's able to participate more in training camp as the days go on. Defensive end Nick Bosa missed practice with his second maintenance day of camp. So in 1 week, he has taken 2 days completely off, even though he hasn't participated in any physical competition. No one-on-ones, no 11-on-11s, would suggest the physical activity he's doing is causing soreness in his surgically repaired knee. That's not great. And it's not great that he has soreness, but, if he's sore, we're worried about the regular season. Of course, we want Bosa to practice. We want him to, have that rapport of hitting. We want him to be in 11-on-11s, but if he ain't ready, he ain't ready. And we got to slowly bring Bosa along. But fortunately, we have depth in that defensive line. And I think Bosa, his snap count will ramp up as the season goes on. I don't think he'll start every snap when we go up to Detroit. Maybe he plays 15, 20 snaps, if that. Samson missed another practice with what the 49ers are calling soreness in his legs. They're keeping him out for precautionary reasons. This writer spoke about Mike McGlinchey, gave up a sack to Armstead. Well, Armstead is the highest paid defensive lineman on the team. It's not like he's getting beat by an undrafted free agent. This writer also says that McGlinchey can't block any type of rusher on pass plays. He's a run blocking specialist who will struggle in pass protection no matter what he weighs. Not his fault. That's who he is. This writer feels like we should not have picked McGlinchey with the top 10 pick. I disagree, but wide receiver Deebo Samuel returned to practice after missing Tuesday with groin tightness and dropped the pass. Also committed a holding penalty. Okay. Guard Aaron Banks. We've been talking about the offensive line, faithful. So guard Aaron Banks, the rookie we drafted out of Notre Dame, he's yet to play with the starters. And today, Coach McKivitz was a starting right guard, and McKivitz has struggled. But Aaron Banks is a rookie, and we'll see how he continues to develop. This is how you get better in practice and training camp. Josh Rosen completed 1 of 3 pass attempts. His body language does not express confidence. He looks like he wants to be somewhere else, and that's what the writer feels about Josh Rosen. But it's just one day. Let's get back to these comments. Let's see. Put this up. Okay. Let's see. CG Ruthless says, I got to watch Ultimate Report stream later. Sorry, I'll watch the rest. No problem, man. I appreciate you coming through to the stream. CG Ruthless. Ronnie, what's good? Appreciate you joining the stream, Ronnie. Tell Big Low Country I said, what's good? You know who it is. It's your boy, Jay in the Bay. Ronnie says, congrats on the 1,000 subscribers. I appreciate the kind words. I appreciate it. I'm just trying to catch up to Big Low Country. J.A. Aguayo says, what do you think about Richie James' chance of winning the third receiver position? I don't see it. I just don't see it. I think there are other players who maybe are just as talented or more talented. And I just think Shanahan doesn't trust Richie James. He had that one great game against the Packers, but every other game, he just seems like another guy. He just doesn't seem like a playmaker. And I don't know, Jimmy G just doesn't have a good rapport with Richie. I think it's partly is that, and Shanahan just doesn't trust Richie. Richie's been here for a few years. I haven't really seen much from him besides one game. So, but appreciate your question. The Vermilion Sports Report says, hopefully Bosa gets back soon. Knee swelling issues are hard. We had that with Gurley. Yeah. And, if he's sore, you don't want him to play. And, if guys are sore, we don't want to rush them back to practice, right? Because, we heard there's a particular YouTuber who was saying, oh, all the injuries are Shanahan's fault. The injuries are because of Shanahan, and Shanahan pushes the players too hard in practice, yada, yada, yada. But then when a player has soreness, you want them to play. But they can't play unless they're healthy. If he's sore, this season is a marathon. It's not a sprint. We need Bosa for every game, obviously. But I think we'll see most of his impact the last 8 or 9 games of the year and not the first 8. So that's what I think we'll see. Kel's Chronicles. Yeah, I hear you on that. Oh, man. Let's see. Yeah, I agree with you, Jay. Luke Luna says, I heard K Webb we brought on has played better than anyone who has played opposite of Verrett. So that's a bright spot for the cornerback position. We need that. Webster. Yeah, Ken Webster. Yeah, I heard he's been playing good. He's been on the first string defense since Emmanuel Mosley is out with COVID. So that's definitely a good sign. I agree, Kels. We don't play that in the Bay. And Will Federico says, do you have hopes for Sanu this year? I mean, if he continues to play well and he's the best number 3 wide receiver, yeah, then I expect I expect great things from Mohamed Sanu, or maybe he could be the number 4 and someone else could be the number 3. But we just need someone to step up because Kendrick Bourne was productive for us last year at that number 3 wide receiver position, and we will need someone to replace his level of production. J.A. Aguayo, we have to be careful with Bosa. We need him in October, November, December. Plus, that gives DJ Jones, Givens, Hurst chance to win on the defensive line. Exactly. And also, Arden Key, Samson, Armstead, Jordan Willis. He's suspended for the first 6 weeks of the season, but he'll be back mid-October. So, yeah, it's definitely it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. We need Bosa, as I mentioned, for like the last 8 or 9 games of the year. And J.A. Aguayo agrees with me. Jay says, all what Richie James is good at is doing backflips. I mean, I don't know what it is. He can play the receiver position. I guess he's not a playmaker. I don't know. I guess that's just what it is. Let's see. Yeah, I think I saw your comment, Jay. Yeah, about Mohamed Sanu. I appreciate everyone coming through on a Thursday. Shout out if you're watching on Jay and the Bay Facebook page, Spotlight Sports Network Facebook page, Jay and the Bay YouTube channel, or the Spotlight Sports Network YouTube channel. I appreciate Will for coming through, Luke, Jay, J.A. Aguayo, Celts Chronicles. Appreciate you coming through. I enjoyed your insights. The Remilia Sports Report, Ronnie, CG, Monica, 49ers Ultimate Report, Queen B. Let's see. Tim. Sports Blitz. I think I said Luke. Let's see. Colonel Briggs. Travis Berg. Let's see. Monica. John. Seahawks Eddie. Splash Out. Let's see who else is in here. So that's all that it'll let me go there because I had so many comments tonight. I appreciate everyone conversing with your boy Jay in the Bay. Let's see. I gotta say what's good to Mugs Cooking. Thanks for tuning in to the stream. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well. Celts Chronicle says Faith Family 49er. I'm out. Yay! J Mouse says Niners sickness. Have a good night, man. Thanks for coming through on a Thursday. J.A. Aguayo says we also have Kerr and Contavia Street. You have a blessed night and take care of your family. Absolutely. I appreciate the kind words. And yes, Zach Kerr should eat as well as Contavia Street. We have a deep defensive line, at least go 6-7 deep. Luke Luna says, congrats again. I appreciate the kind words. I will have a 1K, like a subscriber celebration. I would say within the next 7 days. Could be sooner or it could be next Saturday. I just have to get some things together. But yeah, we're definitely going to have that. Jay says, great stream as always. Celts Chronicles says the IQ show. And Mugs Cooking says, just here to congratulations. Got to go and cook. I appreciate you for coming through. I appreciate that. And I appreciate everyone came through on the stream. I appreciate everyone conversing with me. And I should be having a stream tomorrow night. I got to whip up a thumbnail. But, yeah, it should be a stream tomorrow night as well as on Sunday night. So you guys will see the thumbnails. And I hope everyone have a good night. Tomorrow is Friday. Hopefully everyone has a good rest of their week, good weekend. And thanks for watching your boy, Jay in the Bay. See y'all on the next one. I appreciate it.